every time you launch, your sleep immediately takes the hit. You are wired at 2 a.m., you're running content, you're thinking of the things that you should have done but didn't have time for or energy for during the day. The worst case scenarios goes through your head, even though you really want to sleep because it is vital. And your nervous system just feels like it's firing a mile a minute and it cannot turn off. So your thoughts are racing, your heart is racing, you're hyperventilating, you get migraines, you have all of this pressure, you start getting sick, everything is tight, your shoulders are tight, not just because you're doing this all the time, but because there's so much internal pressure that you don't know how to function during a launch any way else other than how you've done it before, because being in survival is the only way you have learned to make money. Now, these symptoms are nothing to be ashamed of. This is very, very common in the entrepreneur space. And some people might tell you that you have a weak mind or you have a subconscious block that is stopping you from money, but that is very superficial level bullshit. At the end of the day, you just have a body that's pushed past its capacity every time it launches, and it needs to physically know how to lower the pressure and energy leaks that happen within the launches so that you don't turn into an inflamed mess afterwards. Launching in general is a high stress activity. We cannot ignore this. That is fact. And so when you launch, you are expecting to sprint, which means you are expecting to use up energy. We cannot deny this. This is fact. However, at times we just do not learn how to sustain our energy levels during that high stress situation. We don't support ourselves. We don't take time to take care of our bodies. We skip on very important things such as sleep, and even eating, and even the battery energizing things for us during these times. And then we wonder, why the hell did we burn out and have migraines? That's why it really is simple as that, but not always easy to overcome because you have wiring telling you to put your needs last that has run the show for decades and decades. And maybe you have boundary problems and you are taking everything in instead of hiring someone or having your team take more in, and or you just haven't learned how to have the proper nervous system support health habits for your body that allow for you to decrease that pressure in real time as you're launching so that you're not taking the tax at the end, but you're actually just neutralizing it as you go day per day. So when you launch for 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you pay for the price at the end of it. That has been your pattern. But if you know how to regulate in real time and expand your capacity in real time, which is what I teach business owners to do, instead of getting sick at the end, you will then know how to take care of yourself during the launch so you don't pay the price of pneumonia, of migraines, of pain at the end of each launch. And instead, you will have steady energy levels throughout 3 weeks, actually have the energy to deliver and have the space to then launch another program to get more clients in. This is the foundational level of what makes your business sustainable. That is why this is such a non-negotiable, no-brainer skill to learn first that is not taught in personal development very well, or even in business very well, but really important too if your goal is to sustain your business over time. And so if you have gone through the launch burnout, insomnia, and migraines after a launch or after having a bunch of clients in, and you're wondering why, then something needs to change. And it is through expanding your capacity by having the health systems in place to ensure that you don't pay the tax at the end every time, because that is very expensive. that costs your sales momentum in the future. That costs your ability to actually deliver the results that you've promised your clients. And that costs you your future reputation because you're not showing up consistently. And so this is very, very important to first start. That's why this is the approach that I first use with my clients. And when they finally do, they're they stop having the 8 month, 1 year, no client problem and book immediate discovery calls and close clients immediately after we go through capacity work, not because they didn't know what to do. It was just because their priorities were in the wrong spot, and they stopped getting sick 5 times a year, and maybe they'll get sick once every 1 year or once every 2 years instead of every single month. It is because of the foundational work that is needed to happen, which is what true nervous system regulation is. It is an active, in the moment, everyday process, every second. And if you are someone who has done the work before, but it's still not working, it is not you. You are not the problem. It's just that you haven't learned how to use it at the right time, in the proper order, in the proper dose, in the proper sequence, which is exactly what I help my clients to do. So if you're done trading your health for some cash and you want to sustain your business in the long term, check out the links below and I'll show you how.